Good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 6th of December, and we talk today about the message that we can glean from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 5, verses 13 through to verses 25. There's a bit of a gap between verses 14 onwards a little bit, but I would recommend that you read those anyway. So Isaiah 5, 13 to 25. And the message that comes through to me is, apart from the fact that, again, God, through the prophet, is warning those who persist in doing evil that they will be punished, and severely so. But what struck me is the absolute prevalence of the evil in society, especially those who are in leadership. It's almost as if for some people, they are in leadership purely because it gives them an opportunity to steal. And they will convince themselves of all sorts of things. It's their turn to eat, or they were disadvantaged before, and this is their turn now to do what their former oppressors did. And all of these examples are, in a sense, I'm suggesting scriptural from the reading today, and yet they resonate so clearly with our own current situation in South Africa. So I'm not necessarily talking about our own current situation in South Africa, but looking at scripture itself. That we are so accustomed to this slow but steady growth of evil that it becomes the norm. And we think for ourselves at again, scripturally, those who are in positions of power use that power for their own benefit, not for the benefit of the people, but for the benefit of themselves. And they draw the people in to their little webs of conspiracy, slowly, steadily, but surely. And the people begin to think that this is the new normal. And if I go back to our own country, but also specifically in the world, how many of us are shocked when we discover a politician who actually speaks the truth? There's a sense in which we say all politicians lie, and when we go and elect the same politicians every 4 or 5 years, straight back into positions of power, because that's what we expect politicians to do. And we're shocked when there's a politician that comes along who speaks the truth and puts the people of that area and that municipality, for example, into priority. We always expect the politician to make themselves that of priority. We expect our leaders to be a little arrogant and to flaunt their power. We expect them to show and to gain their wealth, that leaders must be wealthy. Says who? That doesn't appear to be scripturally correct to how Jesus teaches us, and yet we see it in scripture that those who are in positions of power also have great positions of wealth. And they flaunt that wealth, and they will use that wealth to their own advantage. And so it struck me that those of us who live in the world, and we are, can we say, perhaps just ordinary people, be careful who we appoint as leaders, be careful who we follow, because they often could be leading us astray. Because we take for granted that whatever they say, just like every other leader, is going to be corrupt. That they're out to seek status, and they desire the status and the fawning around them because of who they are, rather than because of what they are doing. And so a somber warning to myself, and I suggest to all of us, is to examine, who are we as leaders? Do we want status, and do we flaunt our status purely because we want people to recognize who we are? Or are we happy sometimes to be even just a little incognito and to simply do the work required of us? And the people may not even know who we are actually, but we've done the will of God, because after all, we are servants of God. We are called by God to serve the world, not to be first, and not to flaunt our authority or our wealth or our position or our status or whatever. So folks, some interesting thoughts for the start of a week, but may they inspire you as much as they inspire me, and give you as much to think about and ponder as they are giving me to think about and to ponder. So folks, have a wonderful day, and we'll chat again tomorrow. God bless.